In our modern society, millions of people have little voice or power in an economy increasingly controlled by big corporations.
We are up against enormous resources and power in terms of the power of the financial services industry and the lobbyists and the money that they have at their disposal to push their agenda.
The big interests are well represented here in Washington. So you're here for the little guy. You're here to make sure that there is, in fact, a real contest that is engaged in to get to the right answer. I am indebted to the National Consumer Law Center for what they did for me, and in turn, I try to pass it on by ensuring that every hearing is injected with the philosophy that you represent every single day.
The National Consumer Law Center, NCLC, is a network of Davids taking on Goliaths, big banks, financial services companies, predatory lenders, and their allies in Washington, D.C. NCLC advocates are the nation's leading experts in consumer law. They work to protect vulnerable people from unfair, deceptive, and abusive practices, and promote the long-term financial health and security of those most in need.
NCLC is an advocacy organization for low-income consumers. We do a lot of very detailed analytical work to explain why the law needs to be changed.
I've been coming to NCLC events for a very long time, and long before I got to the United States Senate. In fact, so much so, it's a little strange actually to be standing up here. I keep thinking about what it's like to be sitting out there.
We also do a lot of work through our network of advocates to help empower them when they're representing individuals who've been ripped off or taken advantage of.
We have been very grateful for the help that we are getting from the National Consumer Law Center and the Michigan Poverty Law Program, which provides access to expert assistance, not just with tax foreclosures, but also with mortgage foreclosures, and enables us to get quick answers when we need them so that we can serve large numbers of people.
I think the thing that really unites people is their commitment to justice, consumer rights. Whether they're in legal aid or private practice, have identified themselves as being, on the side of the consumer, and really devoted their careers to this work and see it as something larger than just representing a client in a case. It's really a sense of mission and purpose to the work that people do here.
Years ago I said, I do this because I think it's in my DNA. I don't think I can actually get up every day and see a lot of injustice out there and not do something about it.
It's a matter of what do you want to do when you get out of bed every morning. What's the fire in your gut? Why do you want to do this? And I am inspired every day by the people that we represent. The regular folks, regular Americans, low-income Americans, people who are particularly vulnerable, older adults, people of color. It's a privilege, actually, to go and represent them in many of these forums where we are sometimes the only voice speaking on their behalf, the only voice saying that this isn't right, the only voice saying that this should change.
Something that unites this staff and others in our field is that sense that it is just wrong that a lot of these horrendous practices are legal, and that we can make a real difference in the lives of some of the most vulnerable people in our society.
I'm an attorney with the National Consumer Law Center, and I also work with Atlanta Legal Aid Society in the Home Defense Program. So in my Atlanta legal aid time, I litigate cases on behalf of individual homeowners who are trying to save their homes from foreclosure. Having this network of other lawyers who are also fighting this fight and can share information and strategies just makes all the difference in the world for us to feel like we can go in and be fearless in a case and get what we need for our clients, because we really are armed with this group of people who's coming at the problem together.
When I sit in that room and I hear the ideas, the first thing that comes to mind is how privileged I am to be able to work with some of the best experts in the world in the areas that we're talking about. When I need an expert, I don't have to hire someone. I just walk down the hall and I can talk to the people who literally wrote the book.
These are the people who have our backs, the ones who are out there waging an unending battle to protect those who would otherwise have no voice or power. For the Visionaries, I am Sam Waterston.